morning. The question that was asked is what do you do if your client asks you for a price reduction? The client comes to you and says that look, we are in trouble, our business is affected, therefore you as a supplier have to give us an additional 3 or 5% discount. How do you respond to this? This is very likely to happen, and it's important to know how to respond to it. There are no easy answers to this question, but we have tried to put together what we believe could be a viable strategy. Number one, do not agree immediately. Never agree immediately. Say that you have to think about it and get back. And then, number two, do your preparation. Make sure that you have your cost sheets ready, and also list out in that cost sheet additional lines of how, because of this crisis, your own costs have gone up. Lower manufacturing hours that you are allowed, fewer number of employees that you have, how your costs have gone up, and therefore your costs are anyway more than what it was earlier, and therefore that your margin, whatever it was, has come down by some percentage. If it was say 15% margin, that just because of this lockdown your margin itself has come down by 5% to only 5% now, therefore it is not possible for you to give any discount. Do this with facts, not with emotions. Do it with actual facts. Create your actual cost sheets without any fudging and tell them the actual situation. Even after this, suppose the person who's interacting with you, who's most likely the first line buyer, he insists, no, I have been given an instruction by my seniors to get cost reduction from you, therefore you have to give me a cost reduction. At that stage, never concede to him, to that first level buyer. Always insist that you are given an audience to a higher official, maybe his boss or his boss's boss. You should try and get an interview with the senior most person in the purchasing organization, maybe the head of purchasing or even the managing director if it's a smaller company. Say that you would like to talk to him before you agree for any price reduction. Please remember that the junior most person who's dealing with you, he's under pressure. If you yield to his pressure and give 2% discount, the moment it goes to his boss will ask for another 2%, and finally you'll end up giving much more. Therefore, always make sure that whatever concession you give it at the highest level. Third, now that you've got an audience with the chief of purchasing or the managing director of the company or whoever is or the general manager, you again go to him with your cost sheet and tell him how it's difficult for you to give. But because it is a strategic relationship, you are willing to make some concessions, but it should be a give and take. Try to use this opportunity to see what you can get out of it. It could be by way of they're promising in writing that this reduction that you're giving is only for a period of say 3 months. That at the end of the third month, they will revert back with the old prices or even better prices to compensate you for the loss. Make sure that you get this in writing. Or you ask for better terms. Say that fine, you're willing to give this reduction, but you have a serious cash problem. Therefore, your payment terms has to be reduced from 45 days or 60 days credit to maybe 15 days or maybe immediate payment. Or third, see if you can get additional business. Tell them that yes, I'm willing to give you a reduction, but I have a problem of costs. Therefore, please, can you give me additional business so that at least I can compensate by way of a larger revenue with you. So this way, what you are trying to do is, it's a give and take. You are willing to give some of your margin, but in return, you're asking for either better payment terms or larger orders or greater share of business or some future commitment of business, whatever. Once you've got such a commitment from the senior most person in the company, then it is most likely that you will be, it will be honored. Okay. Fourth, please remember that it's just like you, every other supplier to that person is also in trouble. Therefore, it would be a good idea for you to reach out to others in your category who may be your competitors and tell them that, look, these guys have asked me for a reduction. I'm sure they've asked you also. It's important that we take a common stand. It's not cartelization, but it's getting together. People who are suffering together get together and try to solve. So you together go to the company and say that, look, you are asking for reduction, we are willing to give you a reduction, but X, Y, Z, these are our terms. You should revert back in 3 months' time, etc., etc. This is another strategy. Please remember that the relationship between a supplier and a buyer is a relationship between equals. And therefore, as partners, we must help each other. If I'm willing to give you a price reduction, you should be able to give me some future benefits so that both of us stay together. So these are some of the techniques that you could use to negotiate in case they ask you for a price reduction. None of these is easy, but we hope that these guidelines that we have given you will help you to deal with this in a very mature way so that you come out successful. Thank you.